Hello, this is Jongbom. I'll start my presentation on debiasing word embeddings. A word embedding represents each word W as a D-dimensional. It serves as a dictionary of sorts for computer programs that would like to use word meaning. So in the word embedding, words with similar semantic meanings tend to have vectors that are close together, and the vector differences between words have been shown to represent relationships between words. For example, given analogy puzzle A, simple arithmetic of the embedding vectors finds that x equals queen is the best answer because of B. It is surprising that a simple vector arithmetic can simultaneously capture a variety of relationships. It has also excited practitioners because such a tool could be useful across applications involving natural language. However, the embeddings also pinpoint sexism implicit in text. For instance, these are the cases. Man is to computer programmer as woman is to homemaker, and man is to doctor as woman is to nurse. In this paper, they, uh, they quantitatively demonstrate that word embeddings contain biases in their geometry that reflect gender stereotypes present in broader society. To quantify bias, we will compare a word vector to the vectors of a pair of a gender-specific words. For instance, the fact that nurse is close to woman is not in itself necessarily biased, but the fact that these distances are equal with man suggests bias. In conclusion, in this paper, they propose approaches to reduce gender biases in the word embedding while preserving the useful properties of the embedding. Occupational stereotype. The figure lists the occupations that are closest to she and to he in the word to back news embeddings. We asked the crowd workers to evaluate whether an occupation is considered female stereotypic, male stereotypic, or neutral. The projection of the occupation words onto the he axis is strongly correlated with the stereotypicality estimate of this word, suggesting that the geometric biases of embedding vectors is aligned with crowd judgment. And analogies exhibiting stereotypes. Analogies are a useful way to both evaluate the quality of a word embedding and also its stereotypes. We first briefly describe how the embedding generate analogies and then discuss how we use analogies to quantify gender stereotype in the embedding. In the standard analogy task, we are given three words. For example, he, she, king, and look for the fourth word to solve his to king is as shit to x. Here we modify the analogy task so that given two words, for example, he, she, we want to generate a pair of a word x and y such that he to x as she to y is a good analogy. And identifying the gender subspace. First, we share aggregate across multiple paired comparisons. By combining several directions such as she, he, and woman, man, we identify gender direction that largely captures gender in the embedding. This direction helps us to quantify direct and indirect biases in words and associations. And to identify the gender subspace, we took the 10 gender pair difference factors and computed its principal component. As figure shows, there's a single direction that explains the majority of variance in these factors. So we hypothesize that the top PC captures the gender subspace. To measure direct bias, we first identify words that should be gender neutral for the application in question. Given the gender neutral words N and the gender direction ln G, we define the direct gender bias of an embedding to be equation A. Whether C is a parameter that determines how strict do we want to in measuring bias. Neutralize ensure that gender neutral words are zero in the gender subspace. Equalize perfectly equalized sets of words outside the subspace and thereby enforces the property that any neutral word is equidistant to all words in each equality set. For instance, if grandmother, grandfather, and guy, gar were two equality sets, then after equalization, babysit would be equidistant to grandmother and grandfather, and also equidistant to gar and guy. Hard devising algorithm is as follows, and as a result, we can get subspace and new embedding. On the initial word-to-vector news embedding, 19% of the top 150 analogies were judged as showing gender stereotypes by a majority of the 10 workers. After applying hard devising algorithm, only 6% of the new embedding were judged as stereotypical. As an example, consider the analogy puzzle. He to doctor is as she to X. The original embedding returns X equal nurse, while the hard debiased embedding finds x equal precisions. Moreover, the hard debiasing algorithm preserved gender-appropriate analogies such as sheet to a variant cancel is as hit to prosthetic cancel. This demonstrates that the hard devising has effectively reduced the gender stereotypes in the word embedding. Figure also shows that the number of appropriate analogies remains similar as in the original embedding after executing hard debiasing. This demonstrates that the equality of the embeddings is preserved. That's it. Thank you for listening.